Yes, ladies and gents, welcome back to In the Red Corner podcast with me, Ross. I hope everyone's well this evening. What a night it's going to be. Big Rob Cunningham back in the Red Corner. It's been a while. Shout out there, Evening Slam, how are you doing? Rob's obviously taken a little time out from bare knuckle. He's went back to MMA. He's gone to MMA, won, and decided to come back to the BKFC to welcome in Gary Slator, as the poster showed there. Gary's the youngest the youngest BKFC fighter on the heavyweight roster, and Rob's going to welcome him into the squared circle. So without further ado, let's just bring Big Rob in, shall we? Yes, Rob, how are you doing, my man?
How are we, Ross? You good?
I'm good, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming back. It's been a little while.
It has, mate. I didn't think I'd be back this year, mate, to be honest. So here we are again.
Well, I'm glad you're back, to be honest, because I think the heavyweight division needs you, and the BKFC, need a lad like you, pushing the lads to the top and things. So I'm pleased. I'm very pleased, very happy that you're back, and so are the people in the comments. Big Rick Doherty there, my man Rick, James as well. How are you doing, James? Hope you're well. Like I say, you've been I was not disappointed. I was gutted when I heard you were, your BKFC contract was up and you were going to MMA, which is what you love as well.
Yeah.
So, how's it all came back around?
It was always the plan to go back to the MMA, because even before I had I think it was a 3-fight contract with BKFC. So even before the last fight with Aggie, my plan was to go back to MMA. I hadn't fought MMA for going on 3 years, I think. So I was missing it. In all honesty, it's my background. It's what I've trained in for years. So, but I went away. Had the fight in February. Won the fight. I was obviously still I'm a massive fan of BKFC. Always have been. I did say never. A couple of times, I've teased it a couple of times, kept an eye on all the fighters and the fights, still in contact with a lot of people within the organisation and stuff. So it come out of the blue, mate, to be honest. I think I egged them on a little bit because I was tagging them in stories and stuff like that. And then, Andy got in touch with me and he was like, there's a fight here if you want it. And I was like, yeah. Let me have a think about it. I didn't expect to be back this soon, but here we are.
Yeah. You were training with some, the world heavyweight UFC champion in Tom Aspinall. Obviously that must have helped you, helping him with his camp and things like that, weren't you?
Yeah. I'm still involved with the team Aspinall. I train as much as I can up there. I haven't been over the last week or so. I've been just training in a boxing gym that's local to me, but I'm still involved with the lads up there. And Tom's obviously announced this fight for UFC Manchester at the end of July, so he's well into his camp now. And there's other lads, Phil DeFries got a fight coming up, Nick Parkin. So we just all help each other up there. It's great, mate. Really good group of lads.
Phil DeFries, his ground game's unreal.
One of the best, mate. Yeah, one of the best I've seen, mate. He's a big boy as well. He's a massive bloke and a big personality as well. He's a great fella.
Yeah, I remember watching him. God, must be 10, 15 years ago. I remember watching him over in the northeast on the shows, and now he's KSW champion as well.
KSW heavy. I think he's the longest reigning KSW heavy champion, mate. He's got more title defenses than anyone. He's smashing it. He's unreal. His level is unreal. He's a great guy to be around as well. Great guy to have, sort of not just on a martial arts level, but like as a person, mate. He's just a top bloke. All of them are up there. It's a great place. I love it up there. Like I said, I'm still getting up there as much as I can. And then obviously I've been doing a lot with the boxing gym now because this has come about again, hasn't it? So
yeah. There's a question there from Slam. Is saying, "What's your goals in MMA?"
I've got some big goals, mate. I'm 2-1 as a pro now. I've got a very good manager, Sidney Deans. We've got a plan to get to 3-1 or 4-1, and then I want to fight for the PFL. That's the organisation I think I want my career to go in the direction of on the MMA side of things. I'm hoping it allows me to do both with the bare knuckle and the MMA. I'm not going to shut the door on BKFC. Obviously, I've ended up back 8-9 months after I said I was done. So yeah, I'm keeping doors open for things. I want to fight for the PFL, but I'm just taking it fight by fight at the moment, just enjoying it.
Yeah, Jack Draper in the comments. Evening, Jack. I hope you're well, my man. Just saying, Jack, yes, mate. Lads.
Well done on your win last time out, Jack.
Yeah, a brilliant performance from Jack on his last outing against a tough Polish lad. You know, Jack wanted some rounds and things like that. Didn't quite get them, but he gave a really good account of himself in his last fight.
It's hard to get the rounds in the BKFC sometimes, mate. It just takes that one shot, doesn't it? Like, it's one of them sports where you don't always get all the rounds you want, but you can't complain, mate. In there, no damage. Out, he's fresh. He's probably straight back in the gym. So I've got a lot of time. Jack's a good guy, mate. Me and Jack have
one of the best. It was the first I've spoken to him. I don't know how many times, and I actually got to meet him for the first time at the last show, which was a pleasure, and his wife as well. He was absolutely amazing. She's lovely.
Yeah, they're nice people. They've got a lot of time for him.
It's hard to get a bloody fight, let alone rounds through that, Jack. Mate. Especially for you, Jack. It is definitely. The opponent changes left, right, and centre for his last couple of fights.
It's the same with MMA, though, mate. Like I was scheduled to fight. Well, what day are we on now? I lose track of days. Wednesday. I was meant to fight last Saturday, but my opponent pulled out MMA, and then I was meant to fight on the 29th of June as well. MMA, he's pulled out. So I think heavyweight combat sports is the hardest division to get matched properly in. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people want to protect records. I don't know if people it's just a nightmare. And obviously Jack's had issues getting matched in BKFC. I've had my fair share of pullouts in BKFC as well. I wasn't meant to fight Aggie last time. Like, it was a match with, I can't even remember who I was meant to fight then. But it didn't happen. And then ended up fighting Aggie. I don't think I fought. No, every fight I've had in the BKFC is not the guy I've meant to be fighting.
Yeah,
I wasn't meant to fight Brett May first time around. Me and Jack were matched, but the date changed. Then I fought Wayne Morgan. I was meant to fight Matt Shippen. I had 2 pullouts from him on 2 different shows. I had numerous different opponent changes for them fights. And then Aggie, I think I can't remember who I was originally matched with for Aggie, but it wasn't Aggie's fault now.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but as a fan, I think, I know there's great respect between you both. I think we all want to see Jack Draper and Rob Cunningham.
It's a good fight, mate. It's a good fight. We'll see where it goes. Me and Jack have spoke about that in private as well. And I think down the line it will happen. If we both keep winning fights, then I don't see why not. I think Jack and Aggie have obviously spoken about fighting, but I think Aggie's due to go to cruiserweight. I remember seeing, so who knows, maybe me and Jack will fight for the British heavyweight title at some point.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. It's just one of those fights that...
If I don't retire again.
We all want to see Ross versus Lou.
That's the biggest fight in British bare
knuckle. That's the money. That's the money right there, isn't it? No, but I think it's a fight that I think it's got to happen with you and Jack. I think it's got to, like you say, somewhere down the line. I think it's definitely got to be, signed and sealed.
Yeah, it will happen at some point. I imagine, mate. Yeah, we'll see where we go. After I knock this Geordie out, then we'll see where we're up to. Yeah.
You mentioned there as well that you kind of changed your training up a little bit. You've always been doing your MMA, but this time, recently, you've gone to an amateur boxing gym to sharpen your hands up.
Yeah, I've never. Do you know what? I've never been a boxer, Ross. I've always been just an MMA guy. So it's a mixture of training. It's Thai boxing, grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. It's a mixture of everything. But I've started training with a lad called Ryan Thomas, and he's in a gym called D-Side Fight Club, and it's a stone throw away from my house, which is mad. It's a nitty-gritty old boxing gym. I've known his dad, Shane, for a long time. He's actually my best mate's cousin. So I just got in touch with him and I was like, can I do some work with you? This was actually before the bare knuckle fight even got announced. I just wanted to go and work on my boxing. And it's brilliant, mate. Like, I've sort of learned loads in the last 8 or 9 weeks that I've been with him. I've like my boxing is different now. As mad as it sounds, I've learned how to strike differently with my hands and move differently, and I'm a lot more powerful than I was. He sort of got me moving better into my shots and stuff, and I've got like serious power in my hands that I didn't realise I had. And because I'm such a big guy as well, I know how to utilise it now, and it's going to be good. I think it's going to do me really good, and I'm sparring with some really good like amateur boxers that have had loads and loads of fights, and they just move different to the MMA guys. So it's been really good experience for me.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like you say, the technique that they'll teach you, it all coming from the back foot, and you know, turning into the shot with your hips and things like that.
Yeah.
The amount of power that you can create, especially a guy your size as well. You know, you'll be able to punch through walls.
It's scary, mate. Like he was saying, because he's watched all my fights. I've known Ryan since I was like a young man. Well, a boy really, and he's watched all my fights and he's watched me doing pad work, and he's basically said, "There's so much more in there, mate, and we're going to get it out." He said, like, he's such a big guy when you're throwing them uppercuts and that. He said, "You can take people's heads off with them if I show you how to do it properly." And now I'm doing it, and I'm like picking my shots better, and yeah, I'm looking forward to actually putting it in action and getting in there and showing the new sort of range of technique that I've acquired.
Fantastic, mate. I mean, because you finished a couple of fights with the short shots in the clinch, haven't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, your MMA background and the Thai boxing, all that kind of stuff that you do. I mean, them little short shots that you do, you don't have to generate that much power.
Especially bare knuckle, mate. You like them short shots do a lot of damage. They don't look like they hurt you, but they fucking do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I've always been good in the clinch, like, because I'm from an MMA background. It's part of what I do. So, it'd be nice to box this time and show off some boxing, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%. So your opponent, Gary Slator. Obviously, Gary is coming from I think he was European champion in the pits.
Yeah.
Do you know much more about him yourself?
Not really, mate. I haven't really had that much of a look. I've had people send me videos and stuff like that, but I'm not really fussed. It's a different level, innit? Like, this is the big league, so I'm been in there. I've had 3 with the BKFC now, so I know what it's all about. So I know I'm a much bigger guy than him. I think I'm going to be technically a lot better than him. He's going to carry power because he looks a stocky lad and he looks like he's game. You've got to be game to fight in hay bales in the pits. He seems a nice bloke as well. I've had a little chat with him. Seems a nice bloke, but I just think because it's a different level with this BKFC. So we'll see, mate. We'll see on June 8th.
Yeah. How do you see the fight going with him?
I don't really like doing these predictions and that, mate. But I don't know. I just think I'll be too good for him. I think I'm sparring some of the best guys in the world. I'm training with some of the best guys in the world, and I've brought my boxing on loads. I just think it'll be one of them fights where I've got the power to stop him. I've got the power to stop anyone there. I know how to use it, so I'm gonna. That's my aim. I want to stop the fight. He's going to come forward at me, I think, but I've got range on him. I've got power. He might have a little bit of speed, but once I crack him in the face with one of my right hands, mate, it just changes everything.
Yeah, brilliant, my man. Slam wishes you all the best for your fight, big bro.
Nice one, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, and what a card it is as well. You know, for a prospect show, there's a few names on there. It's a good card to be a part of.
Got like Danny Christie fighting on it. I'm trying to think. Fights off the top of my head. Paul Venice hosting main event. Who else on it?
You done some sparring with Paul Venice a while back, didn't you?
Yeah, back when was that? Must have been early October, November last year or something.
Yeah, I think this is when Paul was kind of, you know, seeing where he was at, and you know, coming back in, you know, starting training again, and he went round and sparred with a few different lads. How was he when you trained with him?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. He'll do well with the BKFC. He's very aggressive fighter. Come forward, big puncher. I think dropping to cruiserweight would be perfect for him because he'll carry the power down from the way he's coming down from. I think he'll do very well. I can't see that Bulgarian giving him any bother, mate, at all.
Yeah,
I think that's got a first round stoppage on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, time will tell, won't it? It definitely will be a good fight. And I just want to say thank you very much, Slam, for the £5 donation to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Danny on there. Bart Kroll versus Pick Jardine. I think this fight
that's a good fight.
That is going to be unreal. I think this is the dark horse fight of the night. I think possibly.
Yeah, that's a big fight. That Bart's a savage, isn't he? I've fought on the same card as him a couple of times, and obviously Pick's got a good background of combat sports coming into this as well. So yeah, it's a tasty one, that, mate. That's what I mean. There's some really good fight. Danny Christie, Jimmy Justice, another belter.
Yeah.
Who else on the card? I can't think off the top of my head. John Ferguson's back on, isn't he? Big bad John. That's
right. John Fergo's on it as well. I've been with Danny. I was with him on Saturday. He was doing some sparring with the Polish Plough, and I've got to say, I've never seen Danny look as good, as lean, as sharp.
He's dropping, isn't he? He's dropping a weight division, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, with that extra weight that he's just trimmed down, he's so quick, quicker than he was. You know, he was quick anyways, but he looks unreal.
He will do even better at that weight, mate. I think he'll go on to a world title at that weight.
Yeah, he could do. Slam asks a question: who would you imagine your hardest matchup for you would be in the future?
They're all hard fights in bare knuckle, mate. I was calling for Ben Rothwell last year when I was on my winning streak, and then I lost to Aggie, and then I retired. So I don't know, mate. I'll look at any fight they offer me. If it's the right fight, the right time, I'll look at it. Just depends. I'm going to take it fight by fight at the moment. Just see what happens. There's some big names now, and Conor McGregor invested in the company. It's going to bring more eyes to it. So just see what pops up. I'd obviously still love to fight Ben Rothwell, but I'm nowhere near that fight. I was just stirring the pot last year and trying to cause a little bit of talk, and it worked a little bit. I got into bite. I had a little chat with him, and it was nearly sort of he was game, I was game sort of thing. But I'd love to fight someone like that in the future. But I'm still young in the bare knuckle, mate. I'm still 34, so
yeah, definitely. When you look at the likes of Mick, who's the world heavyweight champion, I think he's 40, be nearly 41, or it might just be 41. But
yeah.
In fact, June's his birthday, similar date to mine. So he must be coming up 41 this next month.
You look after yourself, mate. You can go for a while.
Yeah,
especially at heavyweights. Heavyweight's different.
Yeah. Were you surprised with the Mick Lorenzo fights at all? No, me either.
I wasn't. I knew what was going to happen, mate. I just knew he was too big for him. He's too, Mick's very, very, very good. He's got, really good hands. They can say it was an injury, mate, but he sparked him.
Yeah.
He uppercutted him, he went on his arse and he fell over on his arm. But if he'd have got up, if he didn't have that arm injury, he'd just got knocked out anyway. Lorenzo Hunt is a brilliant fighter. He really is, but I just think he's too small for heavyweight.
Yeah, I think so. Like you say, take nothing away from everything he's accomplished so far. Yeah. Lorenzo, and I think the heavyweight was maybe just a step too far for him, but he's still a fantastic fighter.
I mean, there is some smaller heavyweights, so there is probably could if he settled into the weight instead of just taking a fight. Similar to I suppose what John Jones did in the UFC. He took a year out, bulked up properly and stuff, and sort of came into his body a bit more. I mean, Lorenzo's a big guy, and he's just not big compared to the likes of Mick or Ben Rothwell or the likes of the guys over there. But he's one of the best ever, isn't he? So
yeah, definitely.
Take nothing away from him, mate. He's won multiple belts. He's been world champion for ages in the weight division below. So he's a top fighter. I just knew I was backing Mick from the start, mate. As I think a lot of us over here were.
Yeah, did you see you mentioned Conor McGregor there coming over, being an investor into the BKFC now and wanting to tell stories about fighters and things like that. And there was a little video, I think it's on my story on Instagram, about him saying, just imagine Justin Gaethje coming over to bare knuckle and things like that. I mean, he's got so many contacts in that world that he could bring over to this sport and make it even bigger than what it already is.
It's a really good link up, mate, because he's the most famous combat sports fighter on the planet. More eyes will be on it. He's sharing it on his story. I assume they're going to do a card over in Ireland now. I'm guessing they'll do a show in Dublin. So
yeah, they have to.
It's going to be, it's just going to be good for the company, mate. All the names they're going to bring over. He's going to have contacts, like you said, ex-MMA fighters. Nate Diaz, I reckon, might even come over. He was at the last bare knuckle show, wasn't he? So maybe Conor might even have the trilogy fighting the BKFC at the end of their careers. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
That'd be great. I think Conor was saying that he wants to fight he's got his fight coming up, hasn't he? And then I think he wants to fight 3 times this year. I think it was September and December or something along those lines. So, but he did mention Diaz, but I think that'll be in the UFC, won't it?
Yeah, probably, mate. Yeah.
Probably. Slam, go and watch Rob Cunningham fights, his MMA and his bare knuckle as well.
Thank you very much.
Especially the Wayne Morgan fight. The Wayne Morgan fight was, a great victory for you.
Thank you, Ross.
Obviously you've got your Brett May fight, which Brett, said he couldn't see and things like that, and he would just give you a lot of hugs, didn't he?
Just wanted to cover me, mate. What a shambles that was.
So go and check out your, Rob's MMA fights as well.
I was disappointed with that first fight with the BKFC, obviously at Wembley. I was dead happy I won, but just how awkward he made it for me by not wanting to engage in a fight. Just hold. It was just annoying, mate. It was annoying, and then I've seen a load of stuff saying where he said he actually won the fight, and he didn't. If you look at the statistics, I landed more shots on him, and
I don't think he barely threw a shot. He just, like I say, he just kind of tied you up, didn't he, as much as he could? Every opportunity that he got, he just, kind of almost tried to get you in a bear hug and things like that.
Yeah, I've got no problem with the guy. Do you know what I mean? It was boring, man. It was one of them.
Yeah. I don't think that's the real Mike Perry, but
cheers, Mike Perry.
But if it is, thanks for watching, Mike, and we shout you out too as well, mate. Sharon says, "I fell in love with Rob when he beat Brett May."
Yeah, he's not got a lot of fans, Mr. Man.
No,
thank you very much.
Sharon's a big BKFC fan, Danny Christie fan, and she's mentioned you before in a comment as well. Saying you're an absolute gentleman.
I think I met her down at one of the shows in Leeds.
Yeah.
Is it Sharon Wood? Is it
Cleland? Yeah. But she goes to all the bare knuckle shows. Even she supports all the smaller shows as well that are around.
Oh, does she? Oh,
yeah. Shout out Sharon. But yeah, mate, it's going to be some night. I can't wait. I'm hoping to get Gary on at some point.
Yeah, he bailed last time, didn't he?
Yeah. We've tried to make it happen a couple of times, and things have came up. So, but hopefully we get to do it at some point. When are you going up to Newcastle? Are you just going up a couple of days before, or?
No, we'll just travel up on the Friday, I think, mate. My coach is going to drive up in the morning, so I don't know what the timings yet are for. It's usually midday-ish for the weigh-in and stuff, so we'll just drive up early. I think it's about a 4-hour drive for me, so.
Don't say what hotel, but have you got your hotel sorted yet?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll speak to you after this then.
I think so, yeah. I'm going to have to book another room though, because we get one room booked, and I've got obviously 2 coaches, but there'll only be 2 beds. So, yeah, I'll just book a second room, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sharon's saying it's wood. Ron, I'm guessing she meant Ross. Support you all the way. There's another good question. Do you have any rituals you do before fight day or before a fight?
I have a sleep, you know. Yeah, I have a kip. I think the last couple of fights we've got had to be at like the arena for like 4:30, 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I'm having a nap. Literally, just have a little nap. Not many rituals apart from that. It's just one of them. Just sort of get on with it when I'm there.
Yeah.
I never hit pads. Bare knuckle. I stopped doing that. I just want to protect my hands as long as I can. So even warming up backstage, I'll use boxing gloves.
Yeah. I love it around the hotel, you know, especially fight day. You know, me and you have sat down and had coffees and conversations and stuff like that on fight day. But like everyone's just kind of eyeing everyone up and things, isn't it? And you know, they know that it's about to be business time.
It's a strange couple of days, isn't it? When you think about it, all the fighters and media and coaches and that under one hotel, and everyone's friendly with each other. There's no like animosity, even if there's a bit of heat between 2 fighters. They just they'll stay out of each other's way, kind of thing. But yeah, it's quite a nice atmosphere, isn't it? It's not like
it is.
You'd think, there's loads of fighters in here, it's going to be chaos, but it's not. Everyone's dead chilled and
it's like electric in the air, though, isn't there? You know, it's like
you feel something, mate.
You can feel something kicking around.
Yeah, you definitely can. And you're looking at your opponent, he's looking at you, and like, how's he feeling?
Yeah.
I've had so many now, though, mate. I'm sort of used to it, and that. Like, you still get the nerves and everything, of course you do, but it's sort of like an expected feeling. Do you know what I mean? I used to be terrible with it. I used to like freeze up and all sorts, but I know what's coming now. Like, so I'm like, when them butterflies hit or when them nerves hit, you're like, there you are. You're supposed to be here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, amazing, mate. I can't wait. Have you got any sponsors, teammates, gyms that you want to give a shout out to?
I got a few, mate. I'd like to give a little sort of personal shout out to Bluestones Medical Complex Care. So I work for Bluestones Medical. I look after kids with complex needs. So they were kind enough, Darren and Trish, the CEO and managing director, were kind enough to sponsor me. And basically, I love working for them. The company I work for, the job I do, working with kids that come from troubled backgrounds. We're sort of like a last chance saloon for them. They've been passed around different care settings, or they've struggled. They've lost their home life, or just stuff like that. They've had all sorts of problems growing up. So the age range is from like 12 to 16. And we're there to sort of guide them into a better path in their lives, and put them on the right path. So we're getting them into school, we're showing them life skills they didn't have, we're keeping them out of trouble, away from drinks, away from alcohol, drinks and drugs. And then I just feel privileged to work for a company like that fits around my training as well. I work shifts, so they're flexible with me. They let me work 2 or 3 days a week, and I'm still earning a full-time salary doing that.
Must be a really rewarding job.
It's amazing, mate. I love it. I've always said, no matter how far I go fighting, if it's all the way to the top, which every fighter plans to do, I'll still try and stay involved in some capacity. I'm trying to bring boxing in play with them. I'm trying to sort out sort of like a boxing activity for them once a month, where all the kids get together from the different houses, and then we coach and show them that side of things, because I think it's really important for kids to to get into sort of a combat sport and a discipline like that, especially the kids I work with that come from these backgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I think I've said that in the past as well. I think all kids should learn, some kind of martial art or boxing or something along those lines to give them to learn how to focus the anger that they may feel, or
Exactly.
and things like that, to focus it in the right way and get it out in the right way in a controlled environment.
These kids have got like a lot of that as well because of what they've gone through. There's been all sorts of different types of abuse they've gone through, and we're sort of like a family for them. That's the ethos that the company sort of brings. They've got a model called Seed, and it's basically creating this environment for them that creates a family for them that they haven't got. So it's really good that they have all, like, each kid will have his own house, and they'll have his or her own house, and they'll have their own staff team, and they try and keep the same staff team with each kid, so through the whole process they've got the same faces with them. So it's really good, mate. So it's just a special shout out to them. They've backed me. They're going to be like the main sponsor on the walkout top and stuff.
Fantastic. And that's Bluestone, isn't it? What did you say, Bluestone?
Bluestone's Medical Complex Care, yeah.
Fantastic.
Another one as well. I've got loads of sponsors, and I really apologise because I'm rubbish at remembering them. Wayne Crozier, he's a builder from Carlisle, and him and his mate come all the way down for my first fight at Wembley. I didn't know him. He messaged me on Instagram. He bought tickets and he sponsored me, and he's sponsored me again for this fight. He's reached out and he's sponsored me again. He paid my medical fees for me, which goes a long way because it's very expensive. And yeah, he's a top bloke as well. He sponsored me and helped me out. So big shout out to Wayne for helping me with that. The other ones, I've got Patsy's Irish CMOS, Good to Go. Oh, here we go. Grapplers Soap. Oh, I'm going to forget people there, Ross.
No, but I'm sure that you'll thank them yourself on your own Instagram and things like that.
I'll do a post. I'm terrible. My memory's awful. All my sponsors I'm very grateful for. I'm grateful for everything they do for me.
Yeah.
Friends, family, my missus, again, has to put up with me being away out the house all the time and training non-stop along with work. And she's great. She always backs me and supports me in my fights. My team up at Aspinall, all the lads up there, and girls. Savannah Marshall, she's making a PFL debut, boxer.
I've seen that, yeah.
On the same night that PFL are in Newcastle. So BKFC's on and PFL's on the same night in Newcastle.
All right, I didn't realise it was the same night.
Yeah, it's going to be busy up there, mate. yeah. So we're in the Walker Dome. I think they're in the big arena there. Can't remember what it's called.
Metro.
Yeah, Metro Arena. Yeah. So big shout out to Team Aspinall. All the guys and girls up there. Absolutely love training with them. Ryan, my boxing coach, Dad Shane, D-Side Fight Club brought me on loads. Been doing bits up with Primal MMA, another MMA gym, and all the lads up there. Just so many shout outs, mate. Shout out to you, Ross, for having me back on.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure as always, Rob. Anytime, you know that.
I'm a red corner veteran, mate.
Yeah, it's between. I think it might be you now, but it was between you and Jack who made the most appearances.
No, was it? So there we go. We must love getting on for the chat, both of us.
No, and I massively appreciate it. Like I say.
No, thank you very much for having me on, mate. I love coming on, having a chat and catching up and that. And thanks to everyone with dropping the messages in and the support I'm seeing there. Just want to go out there and enjoy it, mate. Thanks to Andy Bakewell and the BKFC for asking me back on after I said I was never doing it again. Well, I wasn't doing it again for a long time, but like I said, here we are. Can't stay away, can I?
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you so much. And not too long away. I'll see you in Newcastle in a couple of weeks.
2.5 weeks, mate. It's flown by.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Nice one, bro.
Speak to you soon, my man.
Cheers, Ross.
Rob Beast Cunningham, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute gentleman he is, and it's always a pleasure to have him on the podcast. And I always enjoy speaking to him behind the scenes as well. Such a nice guy, and it shows that not just a tough man, but the job that he does as well, and the way he supports the he works with the children and supports them as well, is amazing. But don't go anywhere. Come back 10 minutes. I'll be back. I've got a live face-off with some of the Street Beefs fighters. I've got two tonight, so it's going to be a bit of fun, that one, believe me, or both of them. So 8:45 and then 9:15. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Come over. It's going to be fun. Big shout out to my sponsors, Cloud Competitions. Yes, I got it right tonight, pointed the right way. Cloud Competitions, we've got an amazing offer at the moment. If you register, you can get the chance to win £500 for. You don't have to pay for a penny, but there's loads of other great competitions as well. Rob mentioned there, Patsy's Irish CMOS. If you go over to my Instagram, there's a link to that on there, and you can get 5% discount using the code ITRK, and Violent Gentleman as well for supplying us with these polo shirts. Come back over, jab that like button, jab the subscribe button. Appreciate you all, and I'll speak to you later.